Happy New Year. I hope you've all had a really good Christmas. It's been quite a subdued one for us. Not been out much. In fact, I've only been out twice. Once I did a walk with Coop, who was one of my Patreon members, up on Derwent Edge. And then last week me and Joe went up to Higator to catch a sunrise, and other than that I've not been out the door. But Santa's been, and Joe's bought me a new stove for Christmas, so I thought we'd have a little play with that for the first time today. So I'm also going to be talking a little bit about 2025 and hopefully the kind of things that brings, starting with the style of video. It might change a little bit. There might be more of this kind of thing without no fancy editing, no multiple camera angles, single take, so if I cock up you'll get to hear about it. So today I thought I would have a look at, so this is what Joe's got me. She's got me I thought I didn't need any more stoves, but Joe obviously knows me more than I know myself. She's got me the Firemaple, I think it's a Petrel G3, so it's a heat exchanger pot, and it's come with a little kit. So there's a stove in there, which is, I think it's called the Green Peak, and then there's a titanium gas canister stand. So I'm gonna have a play with that, but this is the main thing that I wanted to talk about. So this pot has got like a little groove and cutout on it, and I just wanted to see whether this actually makes a difference or whether it is a bit of a gimmick. So there's lots of things that we do or see when it comes to camping gear and things like that, whether it's carbon fibre this or ultralight, whatever it might be. All these little things that they've got fancy names that that promise the world but don't always deliver. So so we're going to give it a bash. I'm going to boil water twice with it. Once actually sit in the stove inside the grooves. I'll show you how that works actually. Let's get the stove out. This is all real time, by the way. Yeah, this is the Green Peak stove. These arms just fold out, and it is a like a triangular sort of shape with, I think it's 180 degrees between each of those. And the theory is that fits on top of there like that and should give you really good performance. But the stove gets really close to the bottom of the pot. I was always a bit of a believer that there's like a sweet spot of you've got to actually let the flame get to the pot, where this is almost touching it. So we'll see how it works like that outside of the pot as well as inside the pot, and then we'll know for certain whether that makes a difference or not. So yeah, we shall crack on by adding some water. Hopefully there is a marker thing in there, so we're going to add some water up to there. I bought 2 separate gas canisters. It's cold today, it's about 2 degrees at the moment, and these canisters can get really cold and then they don't start to perform, especially with a stove like this that isn't pressure regulated. Right, let's have a look at this as well. It's a nice little tiny canister stand that just locks in a bit there like that. Yeah, pretty standard. So yeah, I'm going to get the lid on. Just let me check what measurement I've got there. We want the same, don't we? There we go. Right, I'm going to fire it up. So it's got a piezo igniter. I'm not weighing the gas or anything like that. Quite loud though, isn't it? This would have been much easier if I'd done it on the bench, sorry, the table over there, but told you, things are going to be different. Well, a little bit anyway. Right, that's locked on. Get the stopwatch to the ready. Which side is it? And put it on full. And we're away. So that is with the pot on in the actual groove. So we'll see how long it takes to boil. And while it's boiling, I said I was going to talk a little bit about 2025. So normally at the start of every year, me and Joe will come up with like a little list of things that we want to do, and we've written it down on paper before, stuck it to the fridge, and then as we've gone through the year, we've ticked things off here and ticked things off there, and then come the end of the year, there's always been a little bit of a disappointment, you know, when you haven't completed some of the things that you wanted to do. So already that's making some sort of noise, like where it's struggling a bit. I don't know if that's the breeze, but yeah. So things that we haven't achieved, and then you feel like you've not failed, but you haven't done what you set out to do. So this year we've decided not to have a huge plan as such. We have got a couple of things in the diary already, but instead we're going to get to the end of the year and then look back and write down and celebrate what we've actually done. Because you sometimes forget all the little things that you do throughout the year, which add up to quite a big achievement when you put it all together. So that is what we're going to be doing. Obviously there's going to be camping involved. There's going to be a few trips here and there. Joe's going to be getting involved with some of those as well. So yeah, it's going to be a busy year again, and hopefully full of plenty of adventures, but we're not going to commit to anything in particular. So what are we at now? 1 minute 53. I don't even know how much water I put in, to be honest with you. I know which line it's up to, but that's it. Are we there yet? No, we've got a little bit of action though. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I said I wasn't going to bother with the multiple angles, but give you a little bit of a closer look. I know taking the lid off doesn't help, but I don't care. Are we bubbling there? We are, wow. Turn that off. Timer off. Right, that's 2 minutes 39 point whatever seconds. So it's not bad really. Impressive. Now I know a lot of people, this is an aluminium pot, and a lot of people they say that you shouldn't really be cooking your food in aluminium. You shouldn't be eating out of an aluminium pot or drinking out of plastic bottles. Is that a real thing? I've had a look and I can't see any real genuine data. I think you're supposed to be able to get dementia or something like that from drinking out of an aluminium pot, but we won't talk about that on here, will we, Joe? I keep forgetting things. Anyway, so I'm going to let the pot cool down a little bit, and then we'll try boiling it without actually putting it in the grooves, see if it makes a difference. Got to beat 2 minutes 39 seconds. So yeah, there's all these different things that we're not supposed to have or not supposed to do. So I eat my food out of boiling the bag, so someone's asked me to show them how I prepare those as well, so I will be doing that in a video pretty soon. Even bacon's good for you. Whoever said that you shouldn't eat bacon, they need to go and stand in the corner and have a good hard think about what they've said. Anyway, that cooled down enough yet? Tell you what I'll do. Put a little bit of cold water in it, just to cool the pot down a bit. This isn't an exact science. I don't care, to be honest with you, but I'm just intrigued whether it's a gimmick or not. That is the thing. Whether it's It really makes a difference. Because you know, all of these claims that manufacturers make, and we buy loads of gear that we don't really need, or that don't really make that much of a difference, enough to warrant anyway replacing what you've already got. So I've used loads of different heatsink pots in my time. I've had the Sterno Inferno one. I've still got 2 jet boil pots, and they work really good. They are better than just a plain pot. But yeah, let's see if it makes a difference being so close to the pot. It does have some more. I do see it has more wind protection, but I'm going to fire it up, see if we can beat 2 minutes 39. Same amount of water. Are you ready? Full. We're going for it. So yeah, this time though, I'm having a cuppa with it. So what have you been up to over the festive period? Have you been anywhere? Have you made any New Year's resolutions yourself? So none here really, other than I'm going to take things a little bit steadier. Gonna try not to make things less complicated. More stuff with basic kit, more one take videos or with limited editing anyway, because believe it or not, you don't always get out what you put in when it comes to this sort of editing. Last year I went and did the West Highland Way. We hiked over 100 miles, 107 miles I think we did. Made 4 or 5 videos out of it, and it never paid for itself. So it's one of those things really. I just want to get out, enjoy it, and share odd little nuggets of, I'm not going to say wisdom, that would indicate that I sort of know what I'm talking about sometimes. Right, what are we at? So we're at 1 minute 35, and it doesn't look like there's very much action happening. Let me have a show you. So you should be able to see there's quite a much bigger gap from the bottom of the stove to the bottom of the pot. Very little action, and we're at 2 minutes 2 seconds. So far then, it seems like the little gimmicky grooves make a difference. I know with some of the jet boil pots, that's enclosed anyway, because you like drop it into the top of the stove and then just lock it in. But yeah, so far I was impressed with the boil time on the first one. We're at 2 minutes 41 now. This is like watching paint dry, isn't it? Watching water boil. Admit it, let me know in the comments how many, if you had to estimate how many minutes you've watched of middle-aged blokes boiling water. Mine must be into days now. Plus all the stuff that I've filmed myself and then had to watch back while I've edited it. It's still nowhere near 3 minutes 20 seconds. Might speed this bit up. Hey, we're there. Right, so that is 4 minutes 31.48. I can't believe that. there's no wind, and it's just down to, look at this one take stuff, that gap between pot and the stove. It's literally half an inch, and that bit of wind protection, so it really does make a difference. Oh, if you can find the gap, there we go. Yeah, I'm impressed. I wonder how long it will be before Jetboil starts putting these little grooves in their stash. I suppose I'll have to do that at some point, see how those two stoves perform. And this isn't even a really high performance stove or anything like that. Afternoon.
Hi.
Happy New Year. So there was a time that I had to switch the camera off and filmed all that again, but not really that bothered anymore. How do you do? Yeah, I used to be really shy. I'd get to the top of the hill. Maybe I'm Mam Tour and I have to wait till the whole hill had dissipated. Is that the right word? Cleared off anyway. So yeah, that is my first video of the year. Oh, you can see all this now, look. Can you see all the frosting on the gas? That's one thing I didn't do, which might have affected things, I suppose. I forgot. Here we go. I bought another gas canister as well. Oh well. But yeah, there's noticeably a big difference. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm not going to leave it in this video, but I'll swap gas canisters. I brought some more water with me. I will boil it up again and just time it, and then I'll put the time on the screen now. Right, so I've just done the reboil test using a fresh gas canister. 3 minutes 22 seconds, so that's, what's that, 40 odd seconds anyway, slower than if I put the pot over the stove in the slots. So although it might seem a gimmick, it really does work. So I don't know if that is because of the wind protection or whether it's because the burner is closer to the pot. So I was always under the impression that you need a little bit, especially with alcohol stoves, you've got to have like I think an inch is the sweet spot when it comes to like a Trangia or something like that. But this nowadays, it seems to be closer. So yeah, well done, Firemaple. One up on Jetboil, I suppose. Which reminds me, big thanks to everybody that's entered the raffle for the full wild camping setup, where you can win a Jetboil plus a load of other stuff. Really good response. Really do appreciate it. So thanks again, and I think that ends tomorrow. So good luck to everybody that's taken part. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video in the next week or so. All the best for 2025.